So I'm delighted to welcome our next speaker, Dr. Sarah Rudebeck. And Sarah's a clinical psychologist at King's Hospital in London, and whose work on innovation and artificial intelligence is gathering a lot of interest at the moment. So thanks, Sarah. I'll welcome you up to the podium.
Great, and thank you so much for inviting me today to DB Brown, for Kirsten, who's been a legend and allowed me to add in a video last minute. Thank you so much. And it's really exciting to be on this panel, you know, alongside a lot of people who've really inspired the development of Recallify through the research they've done at the Oliver Zagwell Centre and now in their research careers. So today I'm going to talk about Recallify. It's an AI app that I have been developing alongside my husband, who is an AI specialist, over the last year and a bit now. And I'm really excited to talk to you about it and see what you think as well. So I imagine all of us know about the huge impact that neurological conditions have on people and in the society generally. I've been working for about 10 years now clinically, and I'm a pediatric neuropsychology specialist. So I work with young people who've experienced stroke, traumatic brain injury, and chronic epilepsy. So these are some of the stories that I've heard in my career and I hear day to day in clinical practice. So I've often heard about the huge burden that cognitive change has on young people, how it makes them feel so different. They don't want to use one-to-ones in the classroom, or, you know, people can't access one-to-ones and they don't have any support and they're just left not able to keep up with learning anymore. Families have also talked to me about how they find it very hard to do some of the, suggested rehab tools, creating memory books and things like this. And I remember a family kind of dropping a memory book in front of me and we were trying to gather it all up together. So these are all the different stories that I've heard and have kind of been permeating in my subconscious, I guess, over the years. But normally in these types of stories, it's a few patients that really stick with you and you think something's got to change, we've got to develop something new to help. And it was about a year and a half ago now that I saw two young people who'd experienced, because of different reasons, really significant memory difficulties, in that they couldn't remember really anything apart, outside 20 minutes, they lost those memories. They're very kind of densely amnesic young people, really, devastating to their lives, but great intellectually, could actually do stuff. They wanted to move forward in their life. And I thought, surely we could do something better here. One of them said to me, I wish I could live my life over and over again, just so I could remember it. Because she knew if she watched a Netflix program 7 times, she could remember the program. That's how many times she had to watch something. And I thought, well, surely new technology should actually allow her to be able to do that. We have our phones with us all the time, and I knew about the kind of, at that point, the beginnings of artificial intelligence. Obviously, in a year and a half, things have really changed, haven't they? And I felt, surely we could put these two things together to give people access to their memories, so they can look at them again and learn them again. So that was the whole inspiration for the development of Recallify. At the same time, the draft NICE guidelines for people with chronic neurological conditions has really highlighted how we do need to be doing more as a profession and researchers to start to develop new technology and take up new technology to support people's day-to-day living functions. And that's what I'm particularly interested in. It's not in improving your memory ability. I did memory training as my PhD, and I think that's a really challenging thing, and there's a huge body of research into that. I'm interested in giving people back autonomy and being able to participate better in day-to-day life who have memory difficulties. So after all of these kind of, looking at the NICE guidelines and all these experience I've had in clinical practice, me and my husband spoke about this. He's obviously got the AI skills to be able to do this. And we decided to set about, potentially naively, I have to say, designing a neurorehab app that uses AI to support people to help them participate more in their daily living and give them back quality of life. So this has led to the development of Recallify. It's been called different things, and not many people can actually say the name Recallify, so I don't know if it's the right name. But anyway, let's see how it goes. We'll stick with it for now. So it has a few main functionalities that I'll talk you through. And also, hopefully, there's a video that will kind of show it more in action, because really it's quite hard to describe an app. So the main functionality is that you can record and upload, so people can record conversations, but they can also upload videos, audio, and kind of large documents. And then the app will put it onto a timeline for you, and then using that kind of big transcription, it creates summaries, so you can look quickly back through what was said and reinforce your memory. You can also do quizzes, so you can see here it can auto-generate a quiz, so you can look through and help kind of learn your memories again if you need to. But it also has the entire content, and you can just listen back to what was said, which people have often used. Our users talk about using that a lot in things like parents' evenings and doctor's appointments and things like that. They just listen back to the whole thing. Because AI is pretty smart and it's kind of really gathering speed as a field, it can tell what you've put in, and it will say if it knows it's something about the future, like we're doing these things and it's a date and time, it'll say to you automatically, shall we set a reminder? I can tell this is something for the future, and then that goes into your calendar. So let's see if the video works and we can just see Recallify in action. Recallify is also free to download, so you can also have a look at it on your phones.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sarah Rudebeck, co-founder of Recallify. I wanted to show you how to use Recallify and get started. We start on the home screen. Tap record to speak, type a note, or import audio, video, or text files. Everything you've added is then saved as a memory. For example, I have a doctor's appointment on Monday at 11 a.m. and I need to take my medication with me. Recallify then transcribes this note and saves it for later. Recallify recognises the context of memories, whether it's a conversation, meeting, or appointment, and it will suggest follow-up actions like creating reminders or tasks, so nothing important slips away. Each memory has a short summary to highlight the key points, helpful for long conversations or uploads. The full content is also there when you need more detail. You can also turn your memories into quick quizzes, so you can learn your memories and look back at them. Later, you can search for your memories by typing keywords in the search bar, or you could just ask, when's my doctor's appointment and what do I need to bring? Recallify brings back the answer and the original memory for the details. You can also share selected memories with people you trust, for example a partner or carer, or download them for yourself. With Recallify, your memories are easy to save, easy to find, and easy to use, so you can focus on living in the moment.
Great, so hopefully that's given you a better sense of how Recallify works. I have to say app development is a bit embarrassing, and I do find having to make those types of videos a bit kind of like, ooh. But hopefully that gives you a much better sense of how it works. So we've been on a bit of a journey with Recallify. I guess I thought initially, it's just a simple idea. There we go, it'll be finished in a few months, and obviously that was a very naive thing. So we came up with a minimally viable product about a year ago, and then we went through quite a lot of user testing with Headway Brighton service users who gave us loads of useful feedback around the buttons, and this screen looks ridiculous, and what does that even mean, and these types of things. So we had to change how the app looked a lot to make it really accessible and people to be able to use it easily. And so since then, we've continued to develop it, and we've tried to grow our user base and continue to get lots of user feedback, really. And so excitingly, but it's also on the app stores, and I guess that's what we've tried to do kind of immediately, is to get it out onto the app store and just really try and get as much feedback as possible. AI is moving rapidly, and in this kind of technology, if we stop and do research or try and go down the medical device route, it will, by the time the device gets regulated in the NHS, the app will be completely out of date. So it's a bit of a tricky one, and that's why we've kind of put it onto the app stores and really putting the power more into the user, and you tell us if it's helpful. That's the whole point of this whole project. So we've got 1,000 users recently, so it's very exciting, and we'll see how it goes from there. So as I said, we've had a lot of feedback from people at Brighton Headway, and this is one of our users who has been very helpful with her time, and she's a real avid user of Recallify. So I was going to play you a video of her feedback of using the app. I just ask that you don't take a video of this. She's been very kind and said she's happy for this to be shown, but she doesn't want it to be like on social media and things like that.
I'm still using it and using it a lot every week. I wouldn't say every day necessarily, but I'm using it a lot every week in different ways. I'm using it for work, I'm using it for family, and I'm using it for the bit that I sort of think about as getting on with life.
Brilliant. Interesting. So it sounds like that you're using it for a number of different things.
Yes.
Could you give me some examples of like ways that you've used it recently where it's been helpful?
In terms of work, I use it. We've recently had some inset training. As a teacher, a lot of information is put across on those days of sitting in one room for like up to 4 hours, which I just cannot manage. And I can manage making notes for a while, but not for the entirety of a period. So I have gapping in what I've managed to retain, but also to be able to recall afterwards. So I then go back to the app for my summaries from the app for how I can use that. And I also use it with my trainee teachers a lot. I'm responsible for early career teachers, so trainees and people in their first couple of years. So I have to undertake a lot of observations every week. So I record those with the permission of the teacher, and then I use those notes to enhance my feedback to them afterwards. And actually they have been really bowled over receiving the summaries from me as well, that Recallify comes up with, because it feels like, oh, so those are the main points that the students may have taken from the lesson. If I haven't managed to note that down in the moment, and I can't note all of it in the way that I might previously, in my pre-brain injury life, I would have been able to be writing and then recall the bits that I hadn't managed to write down at speed, but they would still be there and I would get them down. That now is an absence in my life, so it really does help with that. In terms of family, I have been able to use it with both of my children for things like parents' evening, and then being able to work back with them through what has been said and what the feedback is for how they are progressing, but also for information evenings. So we have had an information evening about a residential trip that my daughter was going on, and there was a lot of information that was completely unnecessary but interesting. So it makes the evening, but it messes things up in my mind as to which bits were important and which were lesser so. And all I really needed was, what time do I need her? Where do I need to get her to? And what does she need with her? And I can use that, but then set it in reminders for going back to it just before the trip, because of course the meeting is weeks before. And it also means that I didn't have to trail through all the written literature that was sent to try and find what I needed. So I had it in one easy place. I think that's one of the things about using the app, is because it's on your phone, you've got it everywhere you go. And although I'm good at writing down notes in my hard copy diary, putting things in a calendar that's my work calendar but not my personal calendar, putting things on sticky notes, I know with if I put it into the app, I have got it, and it's there with me, because it's rare, I suppose, in modern life for us to go anywhere without our phones.
Yeah, and I guess that is the thing, isn't it? It is rare to not have your phone with you now, and it's really about us all, not just me. I'd really encourage clinicians and researchers and service users to keep thinking, like, how can we use this new technology to actually advance the field and be supportive to people? So we've also done some PPIE sessions. So this is where a group of service users have tried out the app and given us feedback sessions that the Brain HRC at Cambridge has supported us with. And so here you can see that really the big kind of functionality that people find really helpful is the summaries, and they go back to those regularly and they use them, and they find, like Maria was talking about there, it kind of takes away all the stuff that you don't need to know and gives you actually kind of what the most important things are. I think we all parents here know about schools and giving you too much information, so that can be really helpful. People also talked about previous iterations of the app had, obviously this needs connectivity or Wi-Fi connection. However, now that we've made it, if you lose connectivity during a recording, it still does the recording, but you have to upload it later. So it says, once you're connected to the internet, please upload, because that used to be a bit of an issue. And interestingly, some people use the app really just to create reminders, which wasn't something that when we did this app that we were expecting. Some people use this app to do voice notes of things that they know they need to do in the future, but they don't want to, they're kind of thinking, well, I might forget it. So they quickly do a recording and then set a reminder into their phone, and that's how they use it. So there's kind of different ways that people are using Recallify as well. That's something, I guess, in this journey I hadn't really expected. So just to talk quickly about the people who are helping us develop Recallify. So it's really me and my husband are the main developers, and he drew the short straw and also had to look after the children, so sorry to him today. Also we've had a team of advisors in research like Professor Vardakardam, Andrew Bateman, and we've had investment by Bethnal Green Ventures, who is a Tech for Good investor, and they've been really supportive in allowing us to continue to develop Recallify for the next year. So next steps, as you can see, we're still in the relatively early stages, and really the next stage for us will be continuing to get user feedback. And if any of you want to try it out and give me feedback, I would love to hear from you. The basic issue that is quite hard in these types of things is you don't get much information. You're always having to ask people, please give us feedback, what do you think? So please do get in touch if you have any thoughts. I've been trying to widen out the neurological populations that we've been trying this out with, particularly MS and Parkinson's disease have been trying it out for us. And there are obviously compliance that you have to go through in these types of devices, and we've done all the kind of foundational ones we need to do, and if we do get kind of grants, we'll be moving down the NHS digital technology assessment criteria. But really the next phase, we'll be doing acceptability and feasibility studies to show kind of more an evidence base of research of how this type of new technology is accessible and people can use it. And I guess that's the other thing that we'll need to be looking at is what type of person can take up this technology. You saw there that Maria has gone back to work, but she has quite a specific memory and fatigue issue that she's using the app for. So really trying to understand the profile of our users a bit better and like who finds Recallify useful for them. Brilliant. So thanks so much. Like I said, I would love to hear any thoughts from people. And if you'd like to download the app and give it a go, it's free to use. Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sarah. That was fascinating, and I'm sure many of us will want to get in touch with you to try it out.